What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about are auctions dying? Now, this is going to be kind of a deep dive into what I personally feel auctions are doing, some of the good, some of the bad, some of the things that are coming up, and the kind of the way they're trying to change the business. Because the reason why I wanted to do this video is I'm here, like I said, traveling my last few days on vacation before I go back to Las Vegas and start my dealership, and I spend most of my time, my free time when I'm not on the beach, looking at the auction. This is Mannheim. And I noticed one consistent thing with every single online auction that I'm going to give you my breakdown on. But before I do, if you do me a huge favor and gently squeeze the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and also find more amazing people like yourselves that enjoy automotive content. Also, please consider subscribing. I post, well, usually I post 2-3 times a week, but since I've been on vacation, I haven't. But once I get back to Vegas, I totally will. And also, once again, follow us on Instagram at Lucky Lopez. We post daily stuff there. If you want to see a lot of my hilarious stuff from the trip, also, like when I go out and buy cars, I go to the auction, I post all that stuff on my Instagram. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. And this all started during the pandemic. Two of the largest auction houses, Mannheim and Adesa, were forced to shut down and not open up their lanes to the public due to all the government restrictions. During this time, they got together like, how do we do this? How do we grow? Because they both had online platforms. If you guys have bought cars off of OVE, you know what I mean? It's not the greatest, I don't think it is, but they at least had something similar, but they had simulcast. So they said, you know what, we're just gonna run an online auction in the meantime. And they got a lot of kickback from dealers like myself. I do not like to buy cars online. And so, but they were pretty much forced to. So what they did is they opened back up with a very small skeleton crew and started selling cars. Wasn't very successful the first month or two. There was a lot of volume and very low sales because, like I said, dealers like myself did not like to buy cars unless we could physically touch them. But what happened is about 2 months in, all the stimulus checks were hitting people's bank accounts. At this time, I think we were closed for about a month or two. So a lot of these people were getting 2, 3, 4 months backdated of stimulus checks. So they were getting 7, 10, 12,000, whatever they were getting, big chunks of money, and they were buying every car in sight. People that normally couldn't afford cars now had $12,000, $15,000 at their disposal. They would go and they'd buy these cheap, affordable cars. Or if they had maybe a little bit more money and a job, they would say, well, I'm gonna take this 10,000 or 12,000, whatever they got, and I'm gonna put this down on a newer car. So then the used cheap cars skyrocketed and the newer ones started going up. So as we watched MMR go up, the auctions were smart and they're like, wow, we're making all this money with less crew, less people, less overhead, less electricity, and we're making more money. So let's go ahead and stiff the dealers even more. So they implemented what was called an online purchasing fee. So even though they had less people and less overhead, they charged an additional $75 to $125 per car to purchase online. This made a lot of dealers upset, people like myself. So I still at that time would go in, I would take my tow truck, I would drop off a car that I was going to take to the auction, and while I was there, I would have my run list and I would look at all the cars that I wanted to look at, and then I would leave. That's how I used to get into the auctions and look at my cars during the pandemic. Now, you know, fast forward to today, and there's so many companies that are coming out with online applications. Now, even before the pandemic, there were a few. I used ACV for quite a while. I actually enjoyed their platform in the beginning when I first started with them. Now, I'm not sponsored by them. Not sponsored by any of these people, but they had one of the most, I guess, easiest ones to use, but they had the better plan. When you purchased a car, if for some reason you didn't like it, if you paid the extra dollar amount at the end, which could be $25, $55, $100, depends on the vehicle price, if you got it and it wasn't what you were hoping, you could give it back to them and go get another car. I believe they've changed a lot of that, and the reason why I wanted to make this video is, you know, like I said, I'm here on vacation, I'm looking online, I'm constantly searching for cars because this is pretty much what I do for a living. And I noticed one thing over and over again. I kept getting bombarded by all these online companies. Oh, join our auction, join our auction, join our auction. I've never seen so many online auction companies pop up out of nowhere. Now, normally these are like sub companies of like Mannheim. Like Mannheim will have another company that's bought by another company. I think Adesa has Go and a few other ones. What's the other one? Backlots. Like they're all owned by some other major company. But when I get these emails from these people, a lot of these companies are just small companies that you've never even heard of. And I kept asking him, look, I'm not going to talk about you on my channel, but why should customers use you? If you can give me some information, I could see some benefit, then I don't mind sharing with other automotive professionals or other people that are interested in the industry. And they all say, well, we're going to be different. Tell me how. They never give me a reason. Oh, we're going to be different. We're going to be cutting edge. How? We're going to take pictures at your house. Everybody else does that. We're going to put your cars online. Okay, but you don't have any market share. Well, we're getting market share. And it's like, it's basically the video I'm telling you today is, don't sign up for a lot of these online auction companies because they don't have anything beneficial. Some of these were even charging you fees. Like one was like, oh, well, we'll sign you up for $500. I'm like, so you want me to buy cars on your platform but give you $500 first before I even see a single car? They're like, yes. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I think their purchase fee was like $250. Back in the day, ACV used to be 99 bucks. I don't know what it is now, but once I get my dealer's license, I'm going to sign up for all these places, and I'm going to start doing reviews of these ones, so this way I can give you guys more better updated information. But the reason why I want to get into why I don't like buying online and why I think that the future is not online auctions, everybody keeps saying, oh, we're going to go away, the big auction yards are going to disappear. Here's 3 reasons why. ACV is a great company, but they come and they take pictures on your lot. Now, I was fortunate enough, I had a very large lot. So if I had too many trade-ins or too many cars that I wanted to get rid of, they could physically come to my lot, take pictures, and it wasn't messing up my overflow. Where I have some friends that are in downtown suburban areas or metro areas, you know, and they have maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 spots allocated to them, and that's it. They can't afford to sit on 1 or 2 crappy trade-ins or maybe 2 or 3 aged units. They have to physically take them off their lot and take them to the auction. They need a place to put them. And you know, this whole thing of, oh, we're going to do it right there on the dealer's platform. Now, I've seen a few companies like ACV, I think Backlot, and I think Go, they have like staging places, but only for larger cities. So if you don't live in a larger city, you can't take your car anywhere. You have to keep it at your dealership. Now, I've done a few inspections. I won't name some of the companies, but I've used some of these online auctions, and I've only seen 2 that actually were pretty decent. Sorry, let me turn this thing off over here. Okay, I apologize if you hear a bunch of water running. It's raining here in Bali, and there's these fountains behind me. They fill up full of water once it starts raining, so I'll try to blend out the noise, but hey, whatever. I'm on vacation. I'm trying to do the best I can. Anyways, so a lot of the inspections for the auctions were very subpar. I've had some where they literally took pictures of a running engine. Like, why are you going to take pictures of a running engine that does not help the consumer hear what it is? But then I've had other ones, like I saw ACVs, they had a pretty cool system. Not only did they take videos of the vehicle running, but they have a little microphone that they hang there, they let it run, they see what it is. But one of the coolest things I saw was their little video camera that they put underneath the car. So they stick it underneath the car and they drive the car over, so you could see all the stuff underneath. So if you see missing cats, which is a big thing now, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen dealers run stuff through the auction with no cats on purpose just to get the money. You can see major oil leaks, suspension damage, stuff like that. So it gives you a really good inclination. That's the best one I've seen so far. But a lot of the ones that I've seen, they literally take pictures, open up the door, you know, and nothing flattering of the car. They don't try to get the better angles. You know, anything that's bad, they try to take more pictures of, which is good. But some of them, I've had cars like where there was like, you know, cracking Bondo, some really crappy cars that I got from the East Coast that were like rusted. When they came out to take pictures of it, they didn't take pictures of any of the rust. None. And I felt so bad for whoever bought this car. You know, and most of the times, like when I sell stuff like at iaai and Copart, I'll list in the description, hey, this car runs and drives good, but slips in second gear. Caution. I have no problem telling people what's wrong with the car because, you know, whatever. Usually I actually bid on cars correctly, so I mostly don't overpay. So, you know, just because I don't want to screw the other people behind, but I'm one of the few. I know a lot of people don't put that. If you buy my stuff online, you'll see there's always caution something. So, but like I said, nobody else does that stuff. They just throw it up there, pray to God somebody overbids on it. And I'd say about every other car at the auction, that's why it works this way, is everybody's pumping pure garbage through the auction. And that's another reason why I don't like to buy online. Let's get into the condition reports. I spoke about it a little bit about 2 weeks ago about the no sales at the auctions. These dealers, or excuse me, these auctions need to be held accountable for their condition reports. If you purchase off a condition report and there's more shit wrong with it, I believe you should be able to arbitrate that vehicle and give it back. But unless you're a big franchise dealer or you're best friends with the manager, you are screwed flat out. I've gotten cars where literally it said no frame, no damage, but you look at it, there's like rust holes in the frame, and I'm like, hey look, this car was a piece of shit, I don't want it. You didn't divulge this information, I want it back. And usually you have to get to the point where you're threatening to sue them and not buy there, and then they'll finally arbitrate it for you. You know, or you can go to the owner of the company, hey man, you didn't announce this, do the right thing, cut this thing off, I don't want this car, sell it somewhere else. You know, and a lot of these new dealers get caught up into this. Now, the reason why I'm harping on condition reports so much is because we're coming into an era where car values are dropping dramatically. And if you're going to be stuck with inventory, you at least want to be stuck with inventory that's worth something that you can make some money off of. So as these numbers start to shrink, your profit is going to start to shrink. So like I said, the economy is going down. Every week you can look at Black Book if people want data. Go to blackbook.com, look up weekly market MMR reports, and you'll see about 1% every single week is what the used car market is going down for at the actual auction. So if you're purchasing on these condition reports and you're not taking the time to read this information and buy the right cars, you're going to be left with a lot of shitty cars that you cannot sell if you got to get them off your flooring plan, if they become too aged, or you just can't sell them because you're too overpriced. There's cheaper ones in your area. You're going to be screwed. So as a new dealer, these last 2 years, you guys were taught a lot of bad habits. Not turning over inventory, not really caring what the auction report. I need cars, I need cars, I need cars. That shit needs to stop. You need to take the time and live and die by your condition reports. And to be honest with you, I don't care how this sounds, don't buy cars from the auction. I say it over and over again, it's very, very rare that we actually buy cars from the auction. I buy a handful when I got to, but 90% of the time we buy from online, Facebook, OfferUp, Craigslist, you know, even driving around in neighborhoods, swap meets, tow yards. That's where I get my cars. I keep telling people, this is where you're gonna find the deals, because if you go to a tow yard and there's a $30,000 Tahoe, the likelihood of 2 or 3 more people with $30,000 in their pocket is very small. More than likely, you're gonna win that bid if you have cash. Most dealers don't have cash, they're all fucking broke. They have nothing but debt, they're all in flooring companies. So, you know, if you buy online at the auctions, you're competing against a bunch of broke people with too much lines of credit. If you go into the real world and you buy off of Facebook, Craigslist, OfferUp, these tow yards, you're dealing with people with cash. And people using their own money refuse to overpay. So if you can, take that time, look around your area. I go back in my videos. I have a video on how I buy cars. I'm building a network, building a system. That's all we do, is we constantly look for that. But I honestly believe this future of auctions about buying online and the walk-in auctions are dying. I think that's all BS. But I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. Even if your opinion is different from mine, that's okay. We could still be friends, but it's very important that I get the information from you guys to help let everybody else know. And part of this channel is being transparent and sharing information in the automotive industry. So your opinion does matter to me. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back in Vegas in the next 2 days. I got some really great videos. We're going to do our dealership reveal. We're going to actually walk through and show you the dealership on how everything is set up, and we're going to start doing that. Once we get our license, we're going to start doing our training, where if you want to fly to Vegas, you can do that as well. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, subscribe, like this video, follow us on Instagram @LuckyLopez, and we'll see you next time.